There are three kinds of 2000s MMO internet gamers: those who played Toontown Online, those who played RuneScape, and those who played Club Penguin. I was the latter, mostly because I'd initially tried to join RuneScape but actually told the truth about my age when it asked if I was 13, and it shut me out. I joined Club Penguin on April Fool's Day of 2006 and played it religiously until around 2012, only logging in to see what changed every now and then until the game was finally shut down just last year. The story of Club Penguin begins with the small Canadian flash game studio Rocket Snail, headed by Lance Preed. The Rocket Snail site was a small Adobe Flash game-filled website with a few small minigames, some of which would eventually transition over to Club Penguin. In July of 2000, hoping to make a cooler chat room with little avatars, cooler referring to ice obviously, Rocket Snail released Experimental Penguins, with a weird 3D art style and the bare minimum put into their backgrounds, with only 3 rooms to explore in total. However, it got pretty popular, and by December of 2000, with a flow of 2,000 players a day logging in for an average of 20 minutes, one for each year, I guess, an upgrade was needed so the servers could accommodate more players. Thus, Experimental Penguins evolved into Penguin Chat, and 3 iterations of that game followed, each getting bigger and better than the last. By 2003, Lance and his team decided that their Penguin games were pretty cute and engaging, and decided they want their own kids to be able to use them. So the direction of Penguin Chat began to lead more towards children, and finally, by October 24th, 2005, Club Penguin was released. Club Penguin is not only a great improvement on server speed and accommodation, but it also includes quite a lot of mini-games to play as well. Along with this, there's multiple locations to explore, and there's a nice general design, greatly polished in all areas, having a neater chat that lets the penguin speak in speech bubbles instead of in a chat room, having a cute little penguin design and allowing different accessories and colors, and having mini-games all over the place with little mini-games inside the mini-games to earn coins and buy things. There was lots of stuff to do. But one of the best ones was sled racing. Club Penguin continued to expand each year, eventually earning money via optional $5 monthly charges of membership, which allowed members to have access to extra cosmetics, furniture, accessories, and so on. By 2007, it was generating $40 million and had over 30 million consistent user accounts logging in and out through hundreds of countries, which caught the attention of none other than the Walt Disney Company, who made an offer to buy it, and did, for $350 million, promising another $350 million if Club Penguin was able to reach certain profit margins in a few years, making it a grand proposed total of $700 million. That's a lot of cheddar. However, Club Penguin did not exceed that goal, so the original cost was still $350 million.
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that. Puny god.
With the Disney period came an even harsher influence of capitalism and consumerism, with the parties that tended to go with Halloween themes or Club Penguin's anniversary or Christmas, going to having parties for pretty much anything Disney could cram down the kids' throats, ranging from Marvel to Star Wars or Frozen or Zootopia. Over time, as kids grew up and Disney kept on its Disneyfication, the game had lost some popularity, and by 2015, Disney laid off several crew members and closed access to the German and Russian chat as well. In the face of a few things, namely wanting more profit and seeing modern children grow up surrounded by Apple products, Disney opted to discontinue Club Penguin and instead create Club Penguin Island for mobile devices as a successor. Spoiler alert, it was just canceled 3 weeks ago. Penguins don't fly. At least penguins from Club Penguin Island. Sadly, on March 30th, 2017, a day which will live in infamy, Club Penguin servers were shut down. Perhaps the best thing about Club Penguin was the social aspect. Making buddies and playing for hours on end was a big chunk of many people's online childhoods. But perhaps the most famous of all these was tipping the iceberg. Tipping the berg, as it was known in Club Penguin, refers to one of the areas in the map, the iceberg. Simple as the name would lead you to believe. It's just a room with a floating iceberg with a submarine leading to the Aqua Grabber game. It was the most empty room in the game, reminiscent of the simplicity of those experimental Penguins maps. And yet, players could not accept that it was an ordinary room. Because the game had other secret rooms, hidden clothing and catalogs, special events, and other such Easter eggs constantly, it did not seem so far-fetched that there was more to the iceberg. A literal idea of just the tip of the iceberg. The idea was that if enough penguins went to one side of the iceberg wearing hard hats and performing a drill action, the iceberg would tip over and reveal its underside as a new area. So many players perpetuated the claim over the years, myself included, because we could have sworn we saw the underside at least once. The idea that the iceberg could be tipped was false, but in the final Waddle-On party that closed out the game once and for all in its final days, the iceberg could be tipped, revealing a dance floor and a plaque that read, "Together we can build an island, create a community, change the world, and even tip an iceberg. Waddle on." At any rate, that's all I have for today. If you're eager to play the now extinct game, you can still check out a faithful remake using the Swift files called Club Penguin Rewritten, online, free to play, and having membership for all.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do.